So on today's episode, I want to speak to you guys about Vernon Foster, a man who had 3 boys, who left them in the house to go to work, and when he left them 3 boys in the house to go to work, he left his Rottweiler there with him. What happened next?
A 19-month-old child mauled to death by the family dog.
Actually, about 2 years ago, the dog bit one of the siblings of that little boy, and he and his siblings were in the care of his father, who went to work, leaving the kids at home with that Rottweiler. As the ambulance pulled up, officers could be seen rushing Ryan right into it. His injuries grave. That dog seen being taken away in a crate to animal care and control.
To hear that somebody just left children in the house with a dog, it's unbelievable.
Like, to me, that's bonkers. I would never have the thought in my mind to leave my children with a dog. I don't care how passionate I am with a dog. Imagine an animal that size mauling a 19-month-old. You sent that child to his grave. Whatever possible charges can be put on this man needs to be put on this man, because that is just ridiculous as a parent. Like, this is a serious act of betrayal. Hey guys, Walls P here, and welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. So on today's episode, I want to speak to you guys about Vernon Foster, a man who had 3 boys, who left them in the house to go to work, and when he left them 3 boys in the house to go to work, he left his Rottweiler there with him. What happened next? That Rottweiler attacked, mauled, and slaughtered that child. And that boy happens to be a 19-month-old whose name is Ryan Foster. And the bad part about this case is 2 years prior, the dog had attacked one of the other sons. So this was not a one-off thing. Here, let's listen to the full story.
To some of the other news of the night, a tragic story in Brooklyn. A 19-month-old child mauled to death by the family dog, a Rottweiler, that went on the attack as his young brothers watched helplessly. The boy's father gone, off to work, leaving the toddler home in the care of his siblings. Eyewitness News reporter Naveen Dhaliwal is live in Flatbush. And Naveen, this isn't the first time the dog has been aggressive.
No, Sade. Actually, about 2 years ago, the dog bit one of the siblings of that little boy. And, you know, here today, there's a small memorial growing, you can see, for Ryan Francis Foster. He and his siblings were in the care of his father, who went to work, leaving the kids at home with that Rottweiler. That one decision now costing a life. He was just 19 months old. Ryan Francis Foster was at his grandparents' apartment last night, his father making that life-changing decision to leave him and his older brothers, ages 9 and 11, alone at home with the family dog. That dog turning on little Ryan. The older brother summoned for help. In this surveillance video, police officers rushed inside to find the little boy bleeding heavily with multiple wounds to his body. As the ambulance pulled up, officers could be seen rushing Ryan right into it. His injuries grave. That dog seen being taken away in a crate to animal care and control. His death striking a chord with those living here. Today, neighbors making this makeshift memorial, remembering this little boy, a life lost too young, while police getting ready to charge his father. And many are simply wondering this.
To hear that somebody just left children in the house with a dog, it's unbelievable.
That's neglect, you know? Never leave the kids alone at home.
And all 3 boys were with the father as part of his scheduled visitation. Again, charges are pending against that father.
Here's my thing. Why would you leave your children with a dog that already had a run-in with one of your children? And on top of that, you left them in the house to go to work. So we're not talking about you had to run to the corner store or, you know, go outside and throw the trash out. We're talking about you had to go to work. And this took place in Brooklyn. So you're talking traffic to get to work, minimum, let's say you're working part-time, that's minimum of 4 hours, and then for drive back. So you're looking at about 6 to 7 hours that you're leaving the children alone with a dog that you know previously attacked one of your children. Like, to me, that's bonkers. I would never have the thought in my mind to leave my children with a dog. I don't care how passionate I am with a dog. Animals, they can act unpredictable, especially a huge Rottweiler. We're not talking about a poodle or a Chihuahua. No, we're talking about a big Rottweiler. You're talking easily 400 or 500 pounds. Imagine an animal that size mauling a 19-month-old. The way the story breaks down is the officers believe that the child, whose name is Ryan, went into the dog's space in an attempt to get some water. Now, I don't know if it was a water cooler or whatever the case may be, but he was in the dog's space attempting to get to his water. The dog lunged at him, grabbed him by the shirt and collar. The two other brothers, whose name is Jayden and Tate, one is 9 and the other one is 11, they immediately went and, you know, tried to fight the dog off. They hit it, they tried to push it, but it was to no avail, and eventually the dog bit little Ryan in the neck. At that point, that's when they ran out, went screaming to look for help. When they came back to the apartment, they came back with a neighbor who had a shovel and managed to push the dog back into a bathroom. By then, that's when paramedics showed up and carried the lifeless child out of the house. In my opinion, you sent that child to his grave, because like I said, I cannot fathom how would a person have the decency to leave a dog that has previously attacked your children with children in the house alone while you're at work. If that was the case, I understand it was your time to have custody or whatever the case may be. You should have just left the children with their mother. They probably would have been better off, and little Ryan would still be alive right now. As far as this guy go, I want him to be charged with everything under the book. Whatever possible charges can be put on this man needs to be put on this man, because that is just ridiculous as a parent that the thought would even cross your mind to do such a thing. I want to know, what do you guys think, especially you ladies? If this was your child's father and you had to experience something like this, what would your thought process be? Like, this is a serious act of betrayal. So I would love to hear in the comments what you guys think. This story is just a tragedy. My prayers go out to the family, especially to the mother. I definitely feel your pain on this one, and I hope you get retribution in the future. I know no matter what happens to this man, you can never get any type of retribution, but I do hope you allow the criminal justice system that we have in place do its job and definitely get some type of retribution for your loss. I know the criminal justice system that we have in place is not perfect, but hopefully it helps start the healing process, and it's a starting point to that healing process. Look, this gentleman, not even the maximum prison sentencing is enough retribution for you guys. I understand it 100%. I never experienced a loss like this, so I cannot even start to understand the amount of pain that this situation has caused you. But my thoughts and prayers is definitely out to you guys, and like I said, I hope it starts the healing process, because this is a devastating situation for anybody to experience. That's gonna do it for this episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm Walls P, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. It's a matter of opinion.